Okay? Man, that shit do look. It does look really good. Low-key sad. That is my fucking car.
Run it off.
My man Lupe from Atlanta brought in his brand new 2017 Mustang GT for us to work on today.
Just getting straight to it. Hardest decision I've ever had to make. It was a little tough, but honestly, I'm kind of over it now. I just wanted to wait to make this video until obviously everything was finalized and done. But the Mustang, it's gone. She is gone. She is in Iowa and off to its new owner. Now, honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, I sold it, cool. I mean, there was probably a little bit of sentimental value into it, and but it is time, at least on my end, and it was my decision to just let it go. And by no means was it like getting rid of it so that, you know, I couldn't afford it or is this and that. And I mean, I could still pay for it. I could still have it. It's fine. But in my opinion, and probably how I should have been thinking of it from the beginning, is go with a route that I really want to go and just be on team shitbox forever. Because me just being realistic, I do not have the $15,000 set aside to do what I want to do to the car. Now, I mean, to keep it in a Cobra Jet, you know, have a little fun with it, probably a clutch and a tire, little stuff like that. It'll be fun. But to me, aside from just that, I just wanted to use that money that I was using to put towards myself and just start paying all this stuff off, get a business running for myself. Then it'll be crazy shitbox race car fun time. So just putting a hold on to it for a little bit. And as far as like the channel is concerned, I mean, I'll still be doing stuff and around all kinds of other cars, especially the Tahoe, because this is like a two-door Tahoe channel now. But yeah, I had, for those interested, and if you're not interested, you can just kind of skip forward a few minutes if I were to talk about the process of like how to sell. That's probably that 335 that always runs around through here. Or I can probably just do it on another video. I'll probably do it on another video. Now, future plans. Oof. I really want this Fox body that this guy offered to me. Oof. And that's another thing too. I really just don't want a payment anymore. Now, granted, now I probably do have plans to buy a truck, but if I buy that truck, it's going to be making money for me. I'm going to be putting it to work. And as far as doing all my mobile stuff and this and that, I'll probably still do it on the side, but I'm not going to pursue it and do that full time, because I got plugged in. Actually, I got plugged into a really good job. So that's aside from the fact right now. But that truck is going to actually provide an income, make a business. This Tahoe can start the channel and start a business. Then I can have fun and enjoy all that other stuff like I want to. And you know, just overall just not really have a payment, if that makes sense. I could probably talk forever about it and do whatever, but yeah, that she is in Iowa. They came down, drove it around. I cleaned it all up for him, took all my stuff out of it, and I saw my car drive off in the wind. And it was a little sad because it looked so good. It looked so good when it was driving away. But yeah, that was a tough decision that I had to make. It was more of a decision that I had to make with myself. Now, like I said, it's gone. On to bigger and better things now. Really starting to focus on getting that bread. Then we can have some fun. And then, like I said, all that money that I was spending for the insurance and everything, you know, went down, saved my pocket a little bit, and focus on this, because I really need to do some front end suspension work on this car, on this Tahoe. But yeah, she is off to her new owner. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send it off. And honestly, for the people that knew me, like my close friends, if they're watching this, the three of y'all that are watching this, maybe, it was almost like the Mustang was like a bad luck charm. Or maybe it's just cars that are blue. And I'm probably not going to buy a blue car at any point anymore, because I had a blue Volkswagen before. A blue Mark IV Volkswagen. That put me through fucking hell. Everything broke. Everything got replaced twice. So many issues. I can't even think. I had a 2000 Mark IV VR6 Jetta manual. When I say I replaced everything, I did timing chains, front and rear main, water pump, all kinds of subframe replacement. The roof was leaking. All kinds of weird, quirky stuff, all kinds of suspension issues. Out of the 6 years of me having that car, I never did brakes. Never did brakes. Yeah, all kinds of issues. Now the Mustang, even when I first got it, it was cool. I did all my stuff. Everything just around my whole life just became such a hassle. But again, it wasn't because of a car payment. It was just things didn't freaking line up. Like as soon as I bought it, the place I was living at, the lease freaking, they got the apartment I was living at, they got bought out by somebody else, and they're like, yeah, you got to get the hell out. Because I'm like, where is the 60-day notice? They're like, we don't have one, you just got to get out. And all those kind of termination fees. Went into a new place. That went to hell. I'm nowhere getting near any of that kind of bullcrap that goes around that. Every time I worked on the car, every time, like when I worked at Tesla, I'm wearing a Tesla shirt, I wasn't allowed to work on it inside the shop. Then when I was allowed to work on it inside the shop, I was on such a time crunch. And then when I was on a time crunch, my parts were never there. And if my parts were there, I was on a bigger time crunch and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, and then I had to use my buddy's shop to go work on it. So I would be at work, go leave my job, go to their job, work on my car over there, even to do something as a simple oil change, because I couldn't work on it inside the shop at Tesla. It's oil emission burning, blah blah blah, whatever. And managers didn't really like me, so that made, you know, things 10 times worse. Then finally I got a job in another shop. Every time I would work on the Mustang, it was always an issue. When I put a new exhaust on it, it didn't fit. I put this part on and this happened, and then this happened. A simple install turned into this. I'm just like, holy hell. I'm pretty much like how am I almost like a master tech? Pretty much am a master tech. And I'm getting screwed over by little petty bull crap like this. I put motor mounts in it. It took forever to get those things right because the spacing was wrong in the instructions versus what was on my car. The upper control arm suspension that snapped almost when I was racing. Everything, dude. Freaking even when I first bought the car, there was a paint defect. Ford took forever to freaking credit me to get that paint defect figured out. When I got it ceramic coated the first time, they fucked it up and I had to redo it and go back to it and all this maintenance and all this other stuff. But as far as the reliability of the Mustang, I drove it to and from Texas about 3-4 times, back and forth from Florida to Florida to the Carolinas. Never had an issue. It drove freaking perfect. The header causing knock sensor issues, everything that can cause any type of little bullshit issue, I freaking went through in the Mustang world. I learned a lot. Learned with data logging and all kinds of other stuff, knock sensor sensitivity, cold air, tuning issues if there was a leak or there this or that. Getting a catch can that fit, freaking all kinds of just weird stuff that I'm like, how is this car kicking my ass? I remember when we put headers on it, oh my god, that was the issue, because again, I couldn't work on it in my shop, so I had to go to my buddy's shop. And then when we did the headers, the manifold screws pulled some of the threads out of the heads, we had to retap the head and all this other kind of stuff, and everything was apart. Half of us were asleep because it's 3 o'clock in the morning after a long day at work. Finally got it back together, did all this crazy stuff. If I would drive with a group of friends, something always happens to me. Either I get pulled over, I get a ticket doing something, and then I never got like a speeding ticket or like a reckless driving ticket. It was always small, petty stuff, like I crossed over a double yellow going into a turning lane. Like my left rear tire went over the double yellow. I got a ticket. Little stuff like that. And then even when this kid was gonna buy the car, he had issues even trying to buy it. His bank wouldn't wire the money. All kinds of verification issues. His bank called me, their bank called my bank called their bank. All this freaking loophole. He almost gave up. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me right now, because literally his funds are ready, my bank's ready to accept, his bank just somehow doesn't want to make this work. And finally, after persistent movement around the block and how to freaking get things done, the transfer finally went through. He gave me the remaining cash and we finally got it done. I got the title, and ever since that has left my life, things have been working out. I got plugged into a little side gig. I got parts for the Tahoe. I got my driver's license finally. All kinds of stuff is just like falling into place a little bit. So I'm not really like superstitious or kind of weird stuff like that, but literally doing anything on that car. When I did my tow rod bushings, which were like welded into the control arm, I'm just glad I got it in and out and I got it done. And you know, everything else is seeming to work out like really good right now. So that's kind of like a weird thing. I think me and blue cars, I was never one like, oh, I'll never drive this. I'm a Ford guy, I'm a Chevy guy, or whatever. I'm a Dodge guy. I don't care. I'm a tech. If it works, it works. But it was just a little weird. And then now that it's gone, you know, I'm probably never gonna own a blue car again in my life. Tahoe has been treating me real good. It shakes. Okay, it shakes a little bit, but we're getting it done. That was a little bit about that. That's a little bit about kind of a tougher decision, more of like a grown-up decision. And I did really want to sell it when I was in Atlanta, but I think the way everything worked out, I was able to do it where I wasn't forced to sell it. Because in Atlanta, I was almost forced to sell it. But I pulled so much shit out of my ass and made shit work and just busted ass to move around different scenarios and all kinds of other stuff to make it happen. And then now that I was in a spot to where I can chill out a little bit and make a decision on my own, there it goes. So now I'm gonna be on to something else, and it'll be a whole lot more better. That's a little bit about that. If you made it all the way to the end, thanks for hearing my little ramble. And always persistent hard work over anything is gonna make it happen. So if you made it to the end, that's the only thing I can tell you about this video, is that you just gotta bust ass.